ungithatha lapha angibeke lapha ungisusa lapha angibeke lena ungithatha lapha.
Let us get into the biggest hour ever. Introducing ourselves to now again in a more formal way. I'd love to introduce you, Mr. Mshali. Thank you so much for coming through today.
Hello, everyone. You guys are crazy. No, we won't behave. This is crazy. But yeah, thanks for having me and thanks for having us on behalf of the team from MTN. It's really an honor for us to be here at UNESWA today. Hopefully we will share some very good nuggets and also some wisdom to the young people here. But it's good to see all of you. And thanks to the head of department for welcoming us as well.
Most definitely, man. As we said, we're all looking forward to a great conversation coming through. And maybe before, as we get into things, you know, I know maybe there are already so many questions which are coming through. Before we get into the telecoms and everything, getting into the real MTN and everything, we want to know more about you. We want to know more about who is Wandile Mjali. Where does he come from? Already, Dallas has already highlighted all the way from there to Dolorosa High, up to the biggest stages ever. Want to know about you and maybe taking it back to your primary, to your secondary, all the way up until tertiary.
I hope it's going to be an interesting one.
Definitely.
I was a late bloomer, so I didn't do all these crazy things. when I was young, I was just at school, at home, or probably at church. So, hallelujah. So yeah, I think he was right. My primary school and high school was at MTS. And early in my life, I got an opportunity to go to work as a teenager. So I started working as a teenager at Mflume at the time. It was Mflume Sugar Company, but now it's known as Rice Corp. And I was there for maybe 5 years as an apprentice. Those of you, I'm sure that are doing engineering, you'll understand these are the processes that we go through in engineering. And then after several years, then I moved back to college. I was a teacher for some time, hoping I'm not going to teach you anything. But I was a lecturer at the time it was called Scott. Now it's called, I think, ECOT now. Yeah, so I was a lecturer there for also a few years. And then it was the time when I was a lecturer, then I went to university in Botswana. So he's right. I'm not an alumni for UNESWA. So when I got here, I got lost. And thanks to some of the colleagues, they told me what was the name of this place?
SL2.
So I didn't know where it was. So they had to take me from the car park to here. But it's good to be at UNESWA. I think certainly we as UNESWA are proud of this institution and what we've achieved. And I think certainly within our environment, perhaps maybe 80% of our staff at MTN came from the UNESWA. So we're honestly proud of what UNESWA has achieved over the years. And I think continues to train and upskill the young talent in Maswati. And we're going to talk about how we're going to absorb some of the people that are here in this room into working for us at MTN. But certainly, yeah, that was my youth. And like I said, I was late bloomer, so I was mostly at church and at work. I only started doing certain things. I was already in my 20s and
What was your nickname?
I'm not sure if it was. I can't remember if there was, but maybe there was. I don't remember it. But also because I was I'm sure those of you that are in Christian Fellowship, I was a member of the Christian Fellowship and I was, one of the leaders there. So I was busy, and it is important for young people to understand that you can't just be sitting and we have base class in and not do anything. You need to keep yourself engaged in something that will keep your mind, really ready and keep your mind fresh, and so that you don't get into environments where you become depressed. And I know what depresses young people. Nangasiro class, it's relationships that really becomes a challenge. So you need to keep yourself engaged, your mind must not find a vacuum where you then find yourself doing things that you should not be doing. So again, we want to just encourage our young people and find something that will keep you interested in life, interested in things that you see on a day-to-day basis. I know it's not so easy, but as some of us have certain needs, certain wants, but also you must understand, you are growing, and whatever you do today is probably going to affect your future as you grow old. So it is important that we take care of ourselves. Look for something that will keep you really energized, really engaged on a day-to-day basis. Who maybe just wonder the same thing over and over again because you get tired of it. Young people get tired easily. I lead in the organization, the young generation, the cell phone. They don't separate with that gadget. So again, unfortunately, these gadgets have sort of like removed us from social life. So our social life is really within us and the phone. And so that's why, again, it comes back into the depression. I wish, I know I need a telecom company, but I wish our young people could also disconnect for a while. Disconnect for an hour or so and just do something else. They must explore the sport and go to church, do something that will keep away from the device and also be able to then come back to it as and when you need it. But it's in a every time when we are extending second way, before you sleep, second way, and it really does affect the young mind
but maybe moving forward, maybe some of the students that are in Bachelor of Commerce, into IT, maybe communications, but they are maybe they're interested in MTN, maybe
we have not, for some time now, not considered students that are doing lower qualifications. So first of all, you must be doing a degree in any of the fields that we have in the business. Certainly, engineering is one of them, but we do look at those that are doing accounting and business studies. Certainly, those are the people that we also look at. There's also accountants, auditors, etc. Those fields are we always make sure that we bring them into our environment. But I think we've got an agreement with UNESWA over many years now. So each and every year we do take our students for internships. The lecturers are the ones that are responsible to give us a list of number of students maybe we can take them and absorb them to our environment. So we really do not come out here to interview our students. I think the lecturers do a great job there to make sure that we can then absorb some of the students into our environment. And I think most of our employees, like I said, almost 80%, 85% of them are products of UNESWA. And they've just gone through the process where we've taken them through as students, as internships. We take them as graduate trainees over a period of time, 2 or 3 years, and then we then employ them on a full-time basis. And most of them now are today leaders within MTN.
Interesting things. But shorty when I heard you correct, was it any cool monthly maybe na lecturer was recommend. So sena sibona ke simo sekusike ube semabhukwini lamahle abo lecturer bakho. Ngiyacabanga kulusi opportunity lenga uyosebenza ka MTN. Imagine just because maybe perform kahle classini awulaleli. So I think you highlight ukuthi like have a good relationship nabo lecturers bakho and also perform academical, but maybe ngihlale ngiva kuthiwa maybe nyalo sesimuva to a period where sekubuka skill kakhulu more than mama. Ngabe vele indzaba le kanjalo ke ngiyayibona la MTN. What do you prioritize, marks or skills?
Well, certainly when we receive the list of students, it is graded. So there's a grade associated with the name. So we are counting Kamanabani, in the class, and so we do receive that as well. But also, it's also about attitude, and I think the lecturers do a good job in sharing with us those students that they believe have got the right attitude. We can then be able to absorb into the environment. So it has to be both. It can't just be, good students that get A grade, but then when they come to the environment and 17 council, it's about to watch myself, and then you must discipline them, etc. That's not the ideal employee. So we want to make sure that you combine both, attitude, good attitude, and work, good attitude towards the employer, but also you must also produce good performance. Because at the end of the day, when you come to an employment like MTN, it's an stability target, which is not so. So if you cannot perform, if you cannot demonstrate that you can be able to achieve what you have given to you as a target, then you have a problem. So people that have done well in class is because they've actually focused on it and they've been able to achieve. And we have believed that those are the people that are people that we can employ as
Most definitely, Mr. Mjali. You did highlight also to the point of Kuti, most people who were complaining about the network was mostly from UNESWA, it's the young people and all that is actually paid. And now we want to know, maybe are there any packages, or is there MTN working towards a way of Kuti, Nyalo, assistance included in my packages, which only say student-friendly, maybe packages I could say, which include my students, maybe in a way of Kuti, Bonayabi data, they're buying them at a bit of a lower price and maybe at more data, because we can't be comparing maybe the youth university students to the old working class. I could put it like that.
No, certainly. So we did that during COVID time, and it was really because university was closed, and then when we approached the university offered them MA packages, it was purely because you guys were learning from home and we needed to give you some data for learning from home. But I think from learning from home. But I think, however, when everyone went back to university and you guys came back to class, then I think that product sort of like took a next stage. But I think it's important for us to look at that. When you look at some statistics, and I don't share this with you, because it's important as we look at digital transformation of the university, digital transformation of organizations, which is very, very important. I hope that the leadership of the university do take this into serious consideration, because the digital transformation is not something that necessarily it was really sad for us to see that after COVID had gone and you guys have gone back to class, then the transformation that had actually taken place at the time when you could learn from the comfort of your home was then no longer an issue. Now, if you look at some of the statistics today, we analyze data and internet usage for everyone in the country. Social media takes about 90% of our traffic. 90% of our traffic at MTN data traffic is social media. Now you tell yourself this is just wrong, because social media traffic is really because you guys are on Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApp and YouTube, etc. We want to see, as an organization, we want to see a change such that at least 60% will still remain as traffic that is carried for Facebook and social media. However, we want to make sure that 40% of traffic is really useful traffic that is used for learning, is useful for businesses to improve businesses, for digital transformation in universities, colleges, etc. That is where we want to see that, because we know the traffic law is useful. It is traffic that we know is changing the lives of Maswati, that is improving the lives of the young people that are sitting here. And for us to be able to achieve that, the agenda in digital transformation must then continue. It has to happen. We cannot then relax and say, it cannot be automatic. It must be deliberate action to make sure that the transformation is going to happen in today, so that the lecturers can sit in a home, and you guys will be home, and you'll be learning across. We have a platform today, and I'm sure we are proud to share this platform. I'm sure some of you know about it. The MTN Skills Academy. We launched it maybe 2 years ago. We bought just about 3,000 licenses for Maswati young people to learn a skill and be able to get an international qualification. I can tell you today, maybe 300-400 people actually use that platform. You can tell the system there, because it is online. You can learn a skill here that you can use even if you go to the UK, you can go to India, you can go to Asia, you can use that particular skill. So for us, it is very important that we have that transformation, digital transformation must take place in our institutions, in everywhere that we are, even in businesses, so that we can then change the narrative. Internet is about social media. We must think about something that will benefit the Maswati, that will benefit you as a citizen, that will also improve the economy of the country, so that in the next 10 years, where we are today, we become the ICT hub of Africa. And that is what the minister this morning was talking about, to say we want to transform Eswatini to be the ICT hub. For us to get there, we must try and change our behavior around how we use internet. And certainly, it will not be an issue with the speed is 9, speed is cool. It will be whatever I've been able to achieve by the connectivity that MTN is providing.
Yes, ngiyavakala si particularly sasitawuvula lona ke to the floor kusike sasinaqala ke sithathe ke imibuto sikhumbule sike masibude ke sibude kahle respectfully ngendlela ungasabi. It could be my internship programs, it could be ngendata ke MTN but ke sasiqale sasenje 3.
So you mentioned how 90% of traffic is social media as Twitter. I think you mentioned COVID-19 as well, whereby now the public or the media, digital sphere is now replacing physical sphere. So this means that now everything is centered around social media. My excuse me, my point of interest is in current affairs. So how then, you mentioned high economic university. So how then would you advise the university to transform us? How to foster this digital transformation or this media globalization? And then my second question is, MTN, obviously, is a telecommunications company. You foster communications, you foster the media. So then, I'd like to be a monopoly, not necessarily a monopoly in terms of communications. So then, how do you guys now regulate, not regulate, but the censorship? Because if you could ensure that majority of the traffic is through other means besides social media. So then, would you say that you guys then censor how we use the data? Thank you.
Thank you. Very good question. Analysis that I'm sharing with you is really on the broader term, because we receive, the internet usage from where we buy the capacity. So we do not censor it, and it's important for me to say this because internet network MTN, Bangladesh, and so on. There is no equivalent. We do not have any means to censor, and also in Eswatini, it is obviously not in the law for censorship of usage of internet. They don't even have any tools within the regulatory environment for censorship. So I think that it is. I can give you the assurance that we do not do that. But I think going back to the first question, I think certainly the university, the leadership needs to take a decision around digital transformation. We as MTN, we provided the enabling environment. The technology is available, it is there for everyone to use. We even have a base station right here, I think it's next to the hall. So the service that we provide is available today. We also have data centers that we're hosting a number of companies. We can also provide hosting services for the university. We can also provide some either ICT requirements for the universities. But it has to be the decision taken by the leadership to make sure that there is digital transformation within the university. It will be very sad that in the next 5 years, we still use papers in the university. And you guys still have to write a paper, etc. Digital transformation has to happen. And if it does not happen, someone else is going to do it on your behalf. And you'll find that then some of our young people will then move from maybe this environment to another environment where they feel that this is being done at a better scale than what we are seeing today. So it has been the responsibility of the university. The responsibility of you as students, number one, is for you to definitely advocate for such improvements. And then you must also show the interest that you want to transform from a digital transformation perspective. But secondly, you need to continuously learn something. One of the things that I want to share with you is the careers that we have today and the different positions that we have today. I can tell you with confidence that in 10 years' time, they'll not be the same.
Moving to our online stream, we see artificial intelligence.
No, that's fine. So maybe perhaps just to share other stats. If you look at employment opportunities in Africa. Today, almost 80 million of Africans tend to lose their jobs when things change towards AI and digital transformation. However, if you look at the other side, perhaps new opportunities, new jobs, new positions, they're estimating about 93 million of those positions, which means the AI transformation that's going to take place, no matter it is going to bring in new skills, it's going to bring in new opportunities, it's going to bring in new positions. So it should not be a fear, we say, that I should not say. What is important, and what I'm saying and insisting on you, is try and learn a new skill on your own. Don't wait for the madam here to tell you to success. Yes, you must still get your university degree, you must still learn something, but learn something on your own, particularly around AI, because there's a lot of platforms that you have online, and we also have the MTN Skills Academy, where you can learn something, at least in the next 5 years. Whilst you're getting your degree here, you must also come out here, understand clearly what AI is all about, what are the risks around AI, what are the opportunities in AI, and what you can do. The young people today are designing buildings, designing systems just by the use of AI. So jump into that, because you and then tomorrow you'll be sitting back at home to say, Mr. Secretary so good. And I'm not saying this because I'm looking down upon them. I'm just saying there are certain jobs that will not be there in the next 5 years. And again, learn a new skill so that you become relevant into the future. And for you to be relevant, you must learn something that is happening now and be able to prepare yourself for the future.
Yeah, because the next question online, specifically, maybe from now 2025 to 2030, might be a job titles or a roles like in demand.
So some of the skills that are critical within the environment, number one, data analytics, data science, very important. So those of you that are doing analytics and science studies, these are roles that will continue to be there, I think, for a very long time into the future. So I think for young people who are into data analytics, data sciences, certainly you've got a future. Anything that is related with computer services, ICT, again, that is still going to be something that we are going to be absorbing into employment for a very long time. Again, when we talk about analytics, I'm not talking about engineering. There's one analytics in marketing, there's analytics in finance, etc. Even in HR, in human resources, there's a lot of analytics that go in that environment. So please do work towards skills around analytics. And also, things around programming and coding, etc. Learn those skills, because those are skills for the future. The digital transformation that we are getting into needs to make sure that there is appropriate coding. When, for example, this morning when the minister was launching the app, I was really impressed to see 4 young people, and I think they came from UNESWA, who have developed this very complicated application. So which means the ability for you to create something new, innovate something new, particularly the apps that WhatsApp, Facebook, were started by young people in the university like yourselves, and today we are really something that we're using on a day-to-day basis. Those are the skills that will be there into the future, and let us make sure that we jump into it, seeing that we like opportunity today.
Yes, so we have developing a certain application, but my stages are okay, instead of developing a life in a city in Richard, because I know what I'm full about the IT, but I don't have ideas, but about the Africans.
For us at MTN, we have got a process to receive that, so you can always approach our HR team at any time when you feel you've got an innovation that you believe can make a difference in the lives of humanity, can make a difference in the university. Please do approach us, and we can be able to sit down with you, support you, and also provide some resources so that you can then be able to see a reality out of what we are dreaming and innovating. So we do have a channel where our young people can come through from our HR perspective. But I think generally, I think Eswatini, there's a lot of work that has been done. The RSTP has got an incubation program today for young people that want to design and come come up with those innovative ideas and apps, please do reach out to them as well. I think there's very good support from the Ministry of ICT around development of apps at the RSTP. But also I think a lot of other organizations are doing well in terms of adopting this digital transformation that I'm talking about, particularly around development of applications for use in industry, for use in businesses, but also for use also in academic life as well.
Most definitely, Mr. Wandile. And thank you so much for the questions, and I'm sure there's still more which are going to come from the side. And I want to go back to a point you highlighted, and it did talk about the use of social media, the use of data into social media. We know now we're living in an era, we're living in a world where now everybody's doing a TikTok challenge, everybody's doing a vlog, everybody is just talking about, yo, today I'm now waking up, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm all doing that. We have TikTokers here, and we know we're living in a world where we're moving into YouTube paying people. So in all that, I want to know, is MTN willing to support that? Or if MTN is, how is MTN willing to support these content creators, those people who are living through the internet, selling their businesses and everything, on the online streams and everything?
Well, certainly, and I can give you the assurance that if there's anyone here who's running a podcast, a channel, etc., please do reach out to us. See, that's how we make money, because then when the customers then listen to your podcast, they use data, and so definitely. So for us, those are the customers that we want. We want to support the new content creators. Please do reach out to us. The team is here. Give us your contacts and let us see how we can support you. We'll give you free data. We'll give you a router, so that at least you can then be able to set up them. What is important is, and it's important for me to say this now, so I mentioned this again earlier on. It's important that we are responsible when we use these social media platforms. Very, very important. So you cannot then come and we give you all these resources, etc. This way of more apparently so compatible that you should not be saying. These are things that we need to then guard against. So that is why we need to then make sure that when you come in to us and say you want to run a content provision, you want to run a podcast, we'll obviously ask you some certain questions and interview you. And also listen in. And that's when you run this program. So that now send a look, but also you are trying to change and improve the lives of Amaswati going forward. We will give you the resources, we'll support you. The team is here to provide all the necessary resources for any content creators that are here. And they make money, really good money out of YouTube and TikTok, etc. And we want Amaswati to flourish in that space as well. Today I've not yet seen Amaswati that have really gone all the way to receive those millions that Lamanya Mafia want to, but we have the opportunity to do it. And since as MTN, we can provide you the resources, we can provide you the equipment, so that you can then start something that they great in Eswatini.
Yes, Kevin. So it's my podcast in terms of responsibility. I'm responsible. Say maybe an actual statute, this commission maybe like this online media platforms. Maybe it's a place to work, but when I was in I found the podcast, they participate. Responsible. I spread misinformation. I disinform about.
So we will obviously sit down with whoever wants to start the podcast. We'll draw up an agreement on what are the conditions for us to put in our resources into the podcast. Some of the conditions that will be there. Definitely we'll talk to the way that you behave, the things that you talk about, and so that when we then listen in, because obviously that's our later. So when we listen in and see what's then we just pull the plug and we stop it. But I don't want us to get to that point. We need to make sure that when we start something, we know that it will be something that will be successful. It is something that we know will then benefit us at the end of the day. So we will support it. But certainly we are right. In the event that something does not go the way that it is intended for, then we can then be able to relook at our agreement and pull the plug there.
CEO, my name is Zoletu Tembo, and fortunately I sell airtime on campus. Ngicela nje ngoba umphathi ukhona namuhla ukuthi umphathi besicela ukuthi usinyusele i-commission ye-airtime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tembu. You are helping us as MTN, but also you're helping your fellow students as well to have access to MTN services. So truly, thank you so much for it. If you do not have a yellow shirt or something, talk to me. The team here is going to organize something for you as well.
We're already being too clear. Who's partaking? And one of you might be winning it today. I don't know who. It might be you. But can we take the last question before we come back and I'm about to wrap this?
Maybe before, because I didn't answer his question about the commission. Unfortunately, maybe not. We're not going to just increase the commission. So, commission is it's a numbers game. So you get more commission when you sell more. So I can only urge you to sell more. Now they invest and try and get more customers. I'm sure your commission will be something. A lot of young people, still either sell airtime or mobile money. Today they're happy they have even own cars and small businesses. That's how they start. You look at and what the September is doing, and I'm sure most of you will copy it and be able to earn a living. So yeah, thanks very much for that.
Usakhuluma ne-commission CEO siyabona kule nyenti zawuhambisile abantu abasakhona nge-airtime ukhanza mhlawumbe ukhuluma ngenzawo ye-commission maybe ucela ingente kancane khona enzawo ukhanzisenga khona uva basi nawusengamitsa 5 rand hayi lekela nge-10 nasatheni lekela nga-2 rand.
It just sounds wrong.
So it's wrong.
But I don't know the reasons why they do that. But remember, it's in my products the price now are defined. So if you sell a price later, what you have to succeed. It's even a SIM card, say it's in Samalini, airtime net money, money, who defined that. So if now you do 25 malangan, never so say 26 malangan. So go wrong lower. Those are people that you must then report back to MTN and we can then try and deal with them. So our products we predefine their prices, which is what the consumers should be paying on a day-to-day basis. Now, please do let us know, and we can then try to reach out to those. I hope Mr. Tembu is not one of them that are selling.
On the last note, as we close this one off, if you, as the CEO of MTN Eswatini, were given the chance just to send a message to each and every young person out there, what could that message have, and what words could you say to a young person?
Thank you very much. Very important. And perhaps maybe I was just mentioning 2 or 3 things. First of all, just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Very, very important. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you believe you can be able to achieve. Believe in yourself in terms of understanding what are the things that matter to you. Family is very, very important. Those of us that have family, very, very important to build that culture, to build, the ability for you to make sure that whatever the belief that you have is something that will lead into the future. Take care of yourself. I think very, very important. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. You are young people. Do something. Do a sport, and try and keep yourself energized and really looking forward to doing something about your life. Your life should not only be centered around, your schoolwork. Also try to do some extracurricular activities, so at least it keeps your mind fresh and learn something again. We spoke about learning. It's very, very important for me that a new skill, something. There's always something to learn in this world, and every day you're learning something. So for you, let us just make sure that that is something that you do on a day-to-day basis. Faith people, people that have some believe in God, believe in something that truly changes and improves your life as well, and improves the life of the people around you. So the people that are in this room that are either Christians or you're Muslim, or I hope there is no one that does not believe in anything, it really gives you that stability in your life. It gives you something that at least even the difficult times, difficult days, when things are tough, there's something that is not going to change. God is not going to change, and let us believe in that. So for me, those are really, the 3 things that I think certainly are very important for young people. Siyatutsi level without beggar, without Dodobala, because of you that are here.
Ungithatha lapha angibeke lapha ungisusa lapha